Good evening, everyone. Welcome to episode 84 of the Compass Games Town Hall. I'm here with Bill and Billy. How are you guys doing tonight?
Oh, hello, Brittany.
I was getting a little worried there for a second.
About what?
I was going to have to start on my own.
Yeah, no, we got a lot of stuff going on, right?
That we do.
Yeah, what do we got going on? Well, we have, let me think. World War II campaigns is all shipped. Bismarck is shipping now, so that's good. Then Storm of Steel is going to be out, the next one. That should ship maybe end of next week, early the week after. Burning Banners, like everything else. Everybody talks about what happened with the Red Sea and how things aren't going through their ships. Well, ours got stuck in two places this time, outside of Korea. And then all of a sudden we get a notification that the Panama Canal is 3 to 6 weeks behind of ships going through it. Now that was weird. So that sort of screwed up our March release of that game because it should have been here 4 weeks ago. And so how it looks now is Burning Banners will ship when it arrives. Then Atlantic Sentinel will be after that. Then Hitler's Last Gamble. And then Air and Armor. So that's what we're looking at doing. But yeah, things got a little bit messed up with that, but we have other games that we threw out instead. So, and Shoots Trooper is our next Kickstarter. So we're very busy.
Yes, we are. It looks like most of you are already getting your town hall entries. We're already up to 50 entries. So everybody who's just joining us, make sure you get your entry in. You already covered Burning Banner, so I don't need to share that. If you guys want to read more about the Panama Canal and all the fun with that, you can go on the Kickstarter there. Let me see. We can start with the Storm of Steel Kickstarter just wrapped up. I just saw the first post on Facebook about Bismarck arriving. So people are already getting excited about that. Somebody's showed up tonight. Let me see.
Oh, that's good. What you doing?
There we go. So we've seen a lot of questions about Bismarck because it did not have its own Kickstarter. It was part of the Storm of Steel Kickstarter as a special add-on. So if you want to learn some more about Bismarck, we have the product page on our website, obviously, but you can also go over to the Kickstarter. And we have a nice in-depth introduction that kind of goes through what it's about. It's very easy to learn, very quick to play. You can get in a session in about 45 minutes. So it's a good filler game between some more heavy stuff. And then right from here, you'll be able to get right over to the website with the Order Now button.
Oh, nice.
And then we did have one question that I'm pretty sure I know the answer to, but I wanted to double check with you, Bill. We had a couple people asking for dates for the Fall Expo. It's Veterans Day weekend, like normal, right?
Yeah, it's the same. Yes. And because we can't run both at the same time, but it's same as always.
Yep. Oh, there's another one. Just got Bismarck today. Good stuff. And then you already covered the updated release schedule, but we can talk about Shoots Trooper, which I can pull up on the Kickstarter, which is all ready to go for tomorrow morning.
What? Yeah, it got approved.
Nice.
Yeah, it got approved really quickly.
Yeah, no, I saw it. Yeah.
And we've got our signature Julian unboxing Kickstarter video.
Watching it. Enjoying the video.
Going down to our featured pledge here. Nice mounted map. Into the gameplay, sequence of play. You can check out the full rulebook as usual. And then we have a whole suite of fun add-ons that we're going to have an update probably tomorrow that just goes in depth on all of these, all of our World War I titles, or a good assortment of them. We did have a lot of people asking why Western Front Ace wasn't available on the last one. So if you wanted Western Front Ace, you can hop in on this one. And this one, the add-ons are really helpful if you want to get consolidated shipping, and they all have savings on them as well.
You have enough of those?
No, I said that you put lemon on.
Oh, why?
I don't know. If,
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it's fatal. That box is all you saw.
Oh, okay.
20 maybe.
So what else going on?
Whole bunch of stuff. We did have a question from Dominique Sumner, was asking about Air and Armor, Breaking the Chains, and Sea Power in the State for release updates.
Yeah, no, I think I addressed that. Like I said,
Yeah, you covered Air and Armor.
Air and Armor will be after Hitler's Last Gamble, and then Breaking the Chains and Sea Power in the State will be sometime in the summer.
Excellent. All right. Ooh, Hannibal's tied. I haven't heard much about that one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Tied. Other than what's online, what titles are upcoming for Paper Wars? Other than what's online. We did a big preview, like I think 2 episodes back with Julian. That was the 109 preview. I think that's the only one that's not on the website that we've shown anything for, right, Bill?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, I know we have. Trying to think. I know we have it somewhere, but it's not. I don't know where it is. We're a list of the next 6 or 7 games after that we've got lined up. But I can't remember where that is.
Well, I know Greg's working on one. I'm excited about Greg having a magazine game.
Yeah, and the guy who did Alexandros and Spartacus is doing one on Peloponnesian War. I know your friend there. Who is he? Sean Check has 2 Civil War games coming out on that. So yeah, Burning Banner, and I think I referenced this earlier in this broadcast, is coming out. It got delayed on the Panama Canal, so we're expecting it to start shipping around April 15th, but that's the best we can do at this point until we get better stuff.
Matt, not yet. It will be live tomorrow morning, a little bit before 10 a.m. Eastern. Agreed. We're working on some new website filters with the Paper Wars based on everybody's feedback from when we revealed the new filters on the website. So there's going to be a new page where you can actually filter out like which games are covered in each one. So whatever your favorite games are, which back issues you might want to go buy. That's a good one, George. Yep, Mo nailed it with the Panama Canal thing. We have an update. If you want to know more information about it, you can go over to the Burning Banners Kickstarter. And our latest update talks all about it and all the fun logistics involved there. And then let's see. There's another question that came up about a game that I had not actually heard about. And I talked to Sean, and he said it is still in progress. So let me grab the Board Game Geek link because I'm not sure how many people are aware of this one.
Oh, no. Is that Cold War one?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought you told me you stopped that.
I thought that it was shelved as well, but he's done with the design bits. It's with the developer, and he said the developer is just taking a while because it requires a lot more play testing than his other designs. So it is still coming. It is not shelved. So if you were the person who asked about Red Banner Northern Fleet, that is your answer. So that one inspired by the Avalon Classic, Victory in the Pacific. I don't know. We don't really have a timeline going on that one, but it is with the developer as we speak.
Oh, okay.
Catching up on comments. Actually, yes, we just talked about this on either the last episode or the episode before that, putting Paper Wars games into box sets.
Yeah, we're actually, and now they have to be out of print for a period of time, obviously, but we have, let me think, 78, 77, 78, 79, and 80 will be updated and will be in a box set because those have long been out of print.
That's exciting. Yep, Mo, another one. Okay, so I have a whole bunch of project updates to jump into, but does anybody have any questions, any of the release schedule questions before we jump into some things where I might just talk for a little bit?
Yeah, one thing I wanted to address, I've been hearing some stuff, and I need to make this clear. The Fleet series from Victory Games is going to be a reprint. Okay, and we still get questions on, oh, is it going to be an updated one? And we still get people, oh, it's not going to sell. Okay, and here's what I say to those people. You don't worry about what's going to sell. That's my job. Okay, we're going to do a straight reprint. We've said this many times, and so I don't want to have, and then people, I heard online, and Mo's working on it. Okay, the first one, but they're straight reprints with the errata put in and graphics and stuff like that. So I know that disappoints some people. Okay, but let me put everybody to ease. Okay, that, oh, it's a bad business decision. Okay. We've released close to 200 games. Okay, and I think whether you agree or not, I know what I'm doing. So you don't worry about my business decisions. Okay, if you don't like it, don't buy it. But I don't want anybody to think that we're only doing reprints on those. They're not being updated. Well, they are being updated, but with graphics and errata, but no changes. And Mo is hard at work. He's doing the first one. I think it's Fleet is Fifth Fleet. Yeah, I think it's Fifth Fleet. Okay, and so Mo's working on it, and we'll get that as soon as possible. But that's it. Okay, now you can go.
All right. Share my screen. Okay. So the first one is probably the one that I have the most to talk about with. A bunch of you have seen this one in person at Expo or me posting pictures in the Facebook group. We're going to see if these actually load when I say they will. There we go. Okay. So a bunch of updates on DC Hound, which is our little person submarine game or midget submarine game that's upcoming with Simon Colress. And this is, with the last couple of playtests, we were kind of wondering what the final components for the game would look like. So for the ones that we showed off at Expo, we were limited by what the game crafter could produce, board size-wise. So we had a talk with Julian. We figured out what the widest board we could really figure out that would fit into a regular box, because we don't want to go into a non-standard box. So this one's going to end up being 33 by 28 inches. It'll still fit in standard game box. We were a little bit concerned because the table spread was getting really big with all the different displays. So we were inspired actually by Storm of Steel, which is coming out really soon. The big heads-up display that just one board covers pretty much everything. So up in the upper left corner, that's where you're going to put your operational map. And because it's different depending on what kind of sub you're doing and if you're doing the campaign or just missions. And then you have your supply deck that you're going to be managing. There's a lot of different card decks to be managing. And then your torpedoes down here and a bunch of, you're going to see, it's just lorem ipsum placeholder text, but we're getting this ready for next round of playtesting. So this plus your submarine mat and your campaign log sheet will fit an average coffee table size. So we did some research, 29 by 47 inches. Your average coffee table will have space for the board, your submarine, the campaign log, and then a little place for coffee, drinks, snacks, whatever. After that, the latest edition is just holding the operational map up here instead of having it as a separate thing. And we made some changes to the operational map to make sure it was clear which one you were on in which phase of the game. So this used to be hex-based, and we're going to square spaces. So it works really similar. It's the same movement possibilities, but it mimics the look of the historical operation maps of the Kriegsmarine. And now you're very easy to distinguish between the two different maps. For the campaign game and the scenarios, we're going to have 4 different submarines that you can use. So Bill's basic philosophy, if you're doing a really niche topic, you put more than one niche topic into a box. So that's what we're going with. We're going to have the coastal subs, and we're also going to have the Martyr human torpedoes. So 3 different niche topics, all run by the same system. And of course, I have to go and click them separately. So the Type 23, which is the first of the coastal subs, this is all just placeholder art, by the way. Newt hasn't started on it. We have a German designer and a German artist. They are communicating beautifully. Type 23, medium range coastal submarine. They have a really similar armament. It's the 2 front-loaded torpedo tubes to the midget submarines, so you're able to run with the same system on both. And they'll have its own operational map, its own dedicated historical scenarios. The only difference between this and the midget subs is that it won't have its own dedicated campaign mode. You'll just have the mission modes, but you will have plenty to play in the box. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay. And then one of the other big things that we've been updating are the occurrence cards. So before it was kind of just like, oh, you got your one mission and then you went and did your thing, like very one directional. You were kind of like not train tracked. Yeah.
Birthday party.
What is the word for that? Railroaded. So you kind of had like one direction to go and you just followed the flow of the game. Now you have the occurrences. So you're going to have multiple missions that are possible at a time, and you kind of decide which ones you want to prioritize. And then once they get to urgent, if something else pops up, that goes out and you fail, you're losing victory points and you're possibly relieved of command. So this is kind of like a dynamic mission board that's just going to evolve over the course of the campaign between when you're back home doing like your personal stuff and then when you're out doing sorties. And some of the events involve just like little skill checks, and some of them are more in depth. And then it also changes the weather dynamically. It's a little icon on the bottom left. So the mission board will evolve the weather as you go. The thing that we were just playtesting the other day is the new harbor attack system. So the former version had the poker-sized cards that were just predefined harbors, and we've moved over to a modular system. So every time you go into a harbor, you're going to be building it from scratch. And it's 2 different decks. So you're going to start building out your defenses deck, or going through the defenses. And then once you actually get to the entrance to the harbor, you switch over to the harbor deck, find your target, and deal with that. And we added these little circles on the bottom because before we just had counters piling up on the cards, and it was hard to tell like who was the closest to which side if one of them had to move. So now we have a little prioritization thing down here. And then the other big thing, when I say we have been playtesting, this was originally designed completely as a solitaire game, and now everything is playable cooperatively. So we've been playing the harbor attacks, the campaign together, and it works beautifully with 2 players. There's not a lot of downtime. You're constantly going back and forth with the initiative system. So it's not like take a full turn and then you take a full turn. It kind of bounces back and forth pretty quickly. And then last, just general overview, all of it in action over on Tabletop Simulator. So if you're interested in checking this one out, giving it a playtest on TTS, shoot me an email. It's just Brittani-Pearl@compassgames.com. And that is about it for this one. And I'll hop over to comments to make sure I haven't missed anything.
Well, I like that.
Yeah, solitaire and co-op, Craig. Very excited. I will stop sharing for a second and get caught up. Now I have to find the original question.
I think it was when it was going to be released. Yeah.
Yep. That's a Bill question.
Yeah, I think I don't know. My best guess is September, October. For World War II Commander Market Garden, probably September, October.
Sounds about right. Anybody else? Yeah, we're looking to film one of those coming up in the next couple of weeks. Gameplay preview. Wow, David, that is it's impressive Western Front tasting. I'm guessing Western Front tasting. All right, so I have a couple of other games with things to share. If anybody has requests on Up the Boot versus Mons versus Gladiators versus a little bit of Shattered Swords.
No, Market Garden is in. I think Market Garden is in the one we're getting now, but no, Desert Blitzkrieg hasn't even shipped yet. That's the one that hasn't. These were things that shipped like 2 months ago or 2.5 months ago. But yeah, Desert Blitzkrieg hasn't even, not even on the boat.
Wow, that was 4 votes in a row for Mons. So we're going to jump over to Mons. Okay, so as some of you guys probably already know, this is the second game in a series. So after Gallipoli 1915, we have Mons 1914. So it's going to ship with an updated series rulebook. And then, let me see. They'll have its own playbook that's specific to Mons. And this starts, the rule cases start out at 200. So the series rulebook is at 100, and then the game specifics are at 200. So you'll be able to easily tell which booklet you're supposed to go if you need a rules reference. And here's the cover for the setups. So this is, Jeff did most of the art and Bruce came in and did the actual box, and we'll have a box back once this is all finalized. One of the cool things that we're doing for this one that's new is the dry erase planning maps. So if you're familiar with this system, you're doing a lot of hidden movement operations. So you're going to set what your orders are secretly. You can do it with markers on the board, but then you're kind of still giving away a little bit of information to your opponent. So this is kind of the way to keep it all completely organized and private. So you really have to outguess your opponent and outmaneuver them. So these are going to be all the different maps that you need to put your orders. They're dry erase, so you can draw out your arrows, draw out your objective hexes, and so on. And that was just one of them. I figured I could pull up some counters. Everybody always loves counters, and I think these are pretty. You're really going to zoom in that far? Okay, that's fine. And some more counters. Let's see. And then one of the other things we've been working on updating, now I have to unzoom, is the display for all the different statuses that use cubes. So it was originally on just a regular letter size piece of paper, but we were worried about the cubes getting knocked. So we made it into a long extended legal size. So this is going to be a lot easier to keep track of everything and make sure that nothing gets shifted into the wrong column. And I just love the displays. I think they're really pretty and easy to visualize what you're doing, figure out exactly what the effects of all your actions are. And let me see. There is a solitaire training scenario to get used to the system, but it is not a solitaire game. It is mainly 2-player game. It's just like getting used to the rules. You can do a solitaire scenario that doesn't actually use the hidden orders. There's a bunch of historical and hypothetical scenarios, along with a ton of optional rules and historical variants. So you can have the German player flanking through Condé. You can have Haig obeying his orders, and the Gray Masses. So that's one to cover eyewitness accounts that the other side kind of disputes, but there are enough eyewitness accounts that he wanted to include it, that have the German troops marching in columns across the bridges so that they could get taken out by rifle fire really easily. And a lot of people find that hard to believe because they lost in the end anyway. But the hypothetical scenarios, it seems that people have a lot more fun with because they are a little bit easier to win for both sides. The historical scenarios are kind of like guided by history, obviously. And then I have to say it's like the best bibliography I've ever seen in a game. So I'm going to jump that up again because I forgot to show you guys. Go all the way down to the bottom. Like, it is sorted out by category, and it has his personal commentary on why you want to pick up like every single one of these things. So your manuals, histories, general World War I methods, all the histories of the campaigns, and then books specific to Mons and other battles. Like, if you are a reader and love to go through the little like lists of books that the designers recommend, this is just my favorite one so far. Okay. Steve, I have to check. I believe that you can use the 2.0 rules for Gallipoli. but I would have to just double check that. Victory at sea. Always a fun question.
Yeah, no, it's still in the works. It's still moving along.
Golden Age piracy. We just showed that one a couple episodes ago. If you go back and want to see the print files.
So that's that's being printed. That's right.
Indeed, it is. Yeah, I just saw a question pop up right before the live stream. I didn't have a chance to put on my list about Combat 3. So I just finished up the pre-production review on that one, and it's with Adam. So
yeah, Combat 3 ended by Ross. It's by Adam.
It's Adam Starkweather. Adam's going to be getting sick of me very shortly because we're working on so many games, updating so many of his games right now. Shattered Swords is almost wrapped up. Combat 3, Warriors of Politics. It has been a very Adam Starkweather heavy month. Roma Victrix. We're just waiting on 3 pages for a scenario book, and then we are good to go. Nothing. I don't think so. We were looking at the updated map a couple of weeks ago, but I don't think there's been anything new on the Roman game since Jillian showed it off. Warriors of America. That is a build question.
Yeah, no, we're gonna that went through some post printing development, play testing, whatever you want to call it. So we had to make some adjustments there. Warriors of Politics. We want to do them at the same time. Okay, Warriors of Politics and Warriors of America. So, yeah. Well, what do we have that slated for? Fall or early next year?
I think the hope was late fall.
Yeah, early next year. Yeah.
Combat 3 map size, 3 24 by 38 inch maps and 1 11 by 17.
Oh, see, she had that answer set.
Dog boats.
Yeah, Dog Boats is coming out this year.
There it is. So I see a couple of comments on Gladiator stuff, so I think I will jump over to that quick. So I will preface this by saying that these are not actual art pieces. It's just what we've been working on behind the scenes before it goes into artwork, official artwork. So many tabs. Okay. So if you guys have played Gladiators at Expo, you'll be familiar with the displays. So the arena display, where you actually do your fighting, moving around, showing your advantage, do your betting, track the crowd favor. And then you had your actual ludus, where you did your training, you tracked how much money you had, all your different things like your herbs, grain, weapons, etc. And then all your charts. So when you're going into the market, like how high quality herbs you can get, like if you can get any fancy weapons, if you can buy any gladiators at auction, and then your random opponents. And then the fourth display was just your skill effects, like for the special skills, resolving your wounds, and then your random animals. So I see a bunch of comments about the animal rules. So yeah. So we wanted to condense that down a little bit, just to save on table space, get everything like together that went together, like the market stuff with the market stuff, the ludus stuff all together. So then these are just mock-ups. Again, this is not artwork. These are my rough scrapbooking behind the scenes. But we have our random opponents over actually on the arena with your beasts, Mistio, calculating your odds for your wagers. And then it is trimmed down to 3 matches instead of 5. That is a general just system-wide change. And then your ludus has your serious wound resolution, because that's where you're actually going to do it with your Doctori and your Medicus. How do you get your training points? and then keeping track of all your gladiators hanging out over here in the barracks with their points. And then the market. So the market has now the calendar, so you're going to be able to check which festivals are happening when, where you're at, all your different things that you're going to be buying at the market, and your actual money that you spend here, all in one place. So those are just mock-ups again. They'll be going to the actual artist. So this will be heading into artwork within the next couple of weeks, which I'm really excited about. We're all very much looking forward to Gladiators coming out. And John's working with the designers now to schedule all of our expo shenanigans. That's going to be good stuff.
A funny word.
So there is a separate arena mat for the multiplayer, but playable solo to... How many players, Greg? What's the max on that? I know he's in here. We'll keep an eye out. We played a line. It's always fun at Expo to see all the different playtest versions. Get to play the games and get your feedback in before everything goes to print. I thought Greg was on. I'll keep an eye out. All right. There we go. Multiplayer arena, you can go up to 4. Thank you, Greg. All right. So I think, let me just make sure I haven't missed anybody's comments and questions. No, I think we're good.
Yeah, one thing we're doing, which I don't think is Command and Colors expansion, the French expansion. We're doing a very limited print run. I think it's only like 400 or 500 copies. So, yeah, we have it on pre-order, right, Bill?
Yeah.
But I don't think that 400 or 500 is going to last very long. But this is the French expansion of that
The first one.
of the first one. And I know Command and Colors is out.
The first one, yeah.
The first that's out of stock, and I know we're doing more of those. The first one, okay, and again, these are very limited. I think it's like 500 of that one too. They're very limited because I don't know how much more they can sell. Okay, and Jacobite is getting low. But yeah, if you want to pick up the French expansion, you better. I would advise don't wait until it comes out to order it because it's not. Like I said, we're only doing like 400 of that, and that's been in demand for a long time. No, it's just the French expansion is just a reprint of the first one.
I figured I'd pull it up while you're talking about it.
Yeah, that's it. So that's good.
That is exciting.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Of course, I got it pulled up right when you were done talking about it. Okay. So let me jump over to... I think Up the Boot was the next one that people had questions about. So this one, I don't have a lot of artwork yet because we're still working through the rulebook feedback, so that's going to go up. We have some counters. We have the map drafted, but this is the most done thing that we have, so I figured I would show that while we talk about it. So that one we're working on. We just went through this actual rulebook because it's a system game and there are Paper Wars games coming up. We wanted to really get through that rulebook and make sure the system rules were stable and ready to go for Paper Wars. So you're going to be able to try the system in Paper Wars before you actually get the box game, which I think is going to entice a lot of people to jump up to the actual box game.
What's the system?
We're working on a name for it because it was originally the Storm of Steel series, but we just released a game called Storm of Steel.
What's the Paper Wars game?
It's in whichever issue was due to Ty in January. I don't know if Ty's on. He would be able to tell him.
Are you sure?
I remember that's what you said. Yeah, we have the deadline of January to get it into tie.
Oh, okay, but what's the game?
What's the game itself?
Yeah, I don't even know.
You know which one this one is.
I'm sure I do, but I can't remember.
I will grab the rule book quick.
What's the game? Is it a battle bulge game?
No.
I have no clue. No, she said. I said no. She slapped me down.
Oh. Base camp.
Yeah, I'm at a loss. Okay. No, we did talk to Richard. My guy, I talked to him like years ago. Okay, somehow somebody else owns the rights to those. We only own the rights to the American Revolution and Jacobite. That somebody else has that period of time for some reason. I don't know how that worked, and maybe I'm wrong. But we were going to do another Jacobite with bigger battles, but yeah, that hasn't gone anywhere at the present time. But
Brian, yes. So it is up the boot is Italy, 1943 to 1945. So operational simulation of the Italian campaign, all the way up to the collapse of German and fascist Italian forces. So there are a bunch of mechanics for that as things start to kind of go sideways towards the end there. And I can pull up the map if you guys want to see that. But it is still super early draft.
of what?
The map.
Yeah, I don't know what the game is.
Are you going to load for me? No.
Paper Wars.
Why are you going to do this? Okay. Well, you get the basic gist of it. It's not going to let me zoom in for some reason.
Oh yeah, let's see the nice.
There we go. You can at least see those.
2 counter sheets.
Yes. These aren't completely done. There are a couple of things that were missing when we went through the rule book, but this was the first draft that Bruce had. So the basic design you can get across.
Wow, that's been out there. Yeah.
I'll check on which one of the Paper Wars it's in.
Yeah. I don't know, Bill. I'm old.
I would definitely say on the easier side, Paul. Yeah. Easy to get into. I know, Emery, it took me several weeks after we had gone through the entire rule book and I sent all my feedback. I was like, that's such an odd name for the game. And then I looked at the map and I'm like, oh, yeah, up the boot.
How does it handle invasions? Are they preset?
I think there's some flexibility there.
What? No, but it was on the next 4.
No, it's not. That was before.
Yeah, but we don't have that information. I have it somewhere, but not in the magazine.
Yeah, there's some flexibility because there are different release groups depending on what people decide to do, and you're going to be doing your own beachheads, like which ports you want to invade and things like that. And you do have your amphibious assault, airborne assaults. Corsica and Sardinia are included. A lot of it is with the actual like leaders, though, that there are partisans involved, of course. And then as things start to go haywire, like when Mussolini gets deposed, the first, like there are rules on when, like where you have to invade first in Italy, but everything else is kind of up to you. So there's a little bit of restrictions, but the rest is kind of figured out. And the special events are, yeah, mostly about your command. So accidents with your commands, like shaking up your leaders getting changed out. And then different operations like Operation Dragoon,
Oh, yeah, okay.
And
Well, that sounds good.
yeah, I think it will be. All right. Already covered Victory at Sea. Already covered Market Garden. Mounted map. I don't actually know if we were doing a mounted map for that one. It is only one map, so I would think so. But
Looked like a pretty big map.
Hmm?
Looked like a pretty big map to me.
Long, but skinny. So maybe more like African campaign?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of interest in the Italian front games. Don't we have a
Yep.
Paper Wars game that's Italy?
Yeah, that's Anzio.
Yeah.
But that's the one that's going to be reboxed.
Bruce says more than one map.
Yeah, it looked like more than one map to me.
Rebel Tide. Yeah, I know John's been working on that one with Greg.
The other good news is we're finally, okay, Blue Water Navy 2. I know Bruce got updated counters, so it should be working on those. Okay, so that's good. That's moving along. Battle Hymn 2 is moving along. I think the rules will be wrapped up by the designer. We've seen almost the final draft of them, and then Bruce is told that he drops everything that he's working on once he gets that to get Battle Hymn 2 done. Okay, so the good thing is Battle Hymn 2 is probably I know Julian's going to review the maps with Eric Lee Smith, and Bruce is going to go right into the rule booklet and go to InDesign and get that done. And then Then it goes to Brittany. And so once that moves, that pre-does everything else in the system, because that needs to get out. It's been way due. So that moves up and knocks everybody out. Yeah, that's the one that's going to be in the 4-pack. Operation Shingle, Anzio, Paper Wars is one of the ones in the 4-pack.
Yeah, and speaking of pre-production reviews, I had a couple of questions. I know Dave said not to forget about Lightning Strikes. Lightning Strikes is still in progress. We're getting back to the scenarios for that after I get back from my leave. And somebody was asking about Tank Leader Eastern Front. And that one, I am into the optional rules. So that one should be going back to the designer team, because there are so many of them, tomorrow. So excited to get that one moving forward. Emery, no, it's a Yeti. We're a Yeti household.
Okay.
Not a Stanley Cup.
Oh, okay.
We already have 158 entries for Town Hall, so you all seem to be getting the hint. That is good stuff. Ha, David. That's funny.
Oh, yeah, so I can't play them.
I have a quick thing I could show just for what we're wrapping up on Shattered Swords. One of the interesting things. So this one, literally a 10-page rule book, and that's including the cover. So this is going to be a really easy one to get new people into, especially because it's almost entirely just card-based. Where is my live show shares? Okay. So the one thing that we wanted to add during the pre-production review is that right now you have these big 22 by 34 mats for each player. So it's like a absolutely giant, and you're going to need a 44-inch wide table just to play with 2 people in a card game. And we didn't think that everybody would want to do that because it's such an easy game to like pack and bring on the go, play at a board game cafe, play at the game store. So we just wanted to come up with a way to represent that in just a little player aid. So why are you so small? don't know why you're so pixelated either. But it's going to be a little like postcard size player aid that's just going to tell you what each row is. And then you can lay out the cards however you want, like however your space works. That way you don't need the 22 by 34 inch mats for just to play the game. And then we're adding a couple of different things to those mats to the sides just to take care of your discard piles, because all the cards have the same back for each side. So you don't want to get mixed up of what's your discard, like what's out of play, what's in your actual deck. So that's another really simple fix. And then we're just waiting on the updated counters, which just needed some shifting around, and the updated rule book. And then that one's good to go, because that was a pretty quick turnaround with Adam. It's just waiting on the artists.
And didn't you review the For the Motherland?
Yes. So that one's all reviewed. I'm just waiting to hear back from Masahiro, who's already started putting in feedback for the spreadsheet. But I don't have any visual assets for that one yet because it hasn't gone into fixed artwork.
Okay. I'm confused. I thought artwork is done on that one.
Yeah, but not the fixed artwork from my fixes.
Oh, yeah, but the art, yeah, okay.
But I can show the regular, like the existing files if you would like.
Yeah, because that's getting close to go to print. And
yes, very close. And it is a beautiful, beautiful game. And that artwork is also by the designer. So that's like the best. That's the same with Dave for Lightning Strikes. It's the same designer can fix all the art and get everything done, and you don't have to wait for the message to pass from person to person. So this should be a pretty quick turnaround. And I love the color palette on this entire game. It's just beautifully, beautifully done. There's a couple like my notes on which way people are going to be sitting, because some of these things are facing in odd directions compared to where you're going to be actually sitting and doing things. But overall, love this. And then, let's see.
so it's a one mapper?
Yes.
Oh, look at that, though.
Combat results. I love this because I never understand why people want the combat results table to be like this very faint text. It's usually 2 to 3 letters or numbers at most. Like just make it bold so you can see it at a glance. Very easy to tell what you're looking at.
Oh, God.
Your terrain effects chart down here. Sorted out by leg versus mechanized and your actual combat modifiers. I like the layout. I feel like it's very intuitive. And then your sequence of play, which changes halfway through the game. So first half of the game, you got the Axis with their exploitation phase, and then around turn 12, you flip over, and then the Soviets get to do exploitation. So I like that. That changes up. Let me see. The reinforcement cards and the setup cards are pretty similar. But I'll run through those. You use the same reinforcement charts for most of the scenarios. So that's scenarios 1 to 6. And then for the actual setups, some of them are similar. So 1, 2, and 6 use the same setups, and then the others have their own unique setups.
You like that, Bill? What?
Counters. Thanks, Darren. And yes, Steve Overton, who did that map, everything's Masahiro. So all of these. Oh, it's a bat. That's boring.
Now, in your next one, Red Eclipse?
Yes. So I'm jumping into Red Eclipse as of tomorrow. I was planning on today, but I am 1 day behind.
And then we're going to the Vietnam era with that? No?
Wait, after Contact Now?
Yeah. I thought the next game was Vietnam because I heard some emails going that
oh, next game for Contact Now. Yes. Sorry. I thought you meant the next game in my queue after Contact Now was a Vietnam game. I'm like, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. What?
Vietnam is the next.
Yeah. Oh, look at those.
Yeah, the counters are really nice. I like them. Very clear what you're looking at. And I like all the actual resources that you have to deal with. So like the factories, the oil fields, all that. And box. A box for front first. Very, very bold.
What language is that?
I would assume Russian.
Yeah.
What does it mean?
Rulebook.
That's actually a question on my spreadsheet. Just to make sure we know we're not saying anything funny. And then the back. Then high suitability for solitaire. Yeah, there's not a lot of hidden information. Nothing card driven. I think the last thing I can pull the rule book. 24-page rule book, but it's only like I think 16 to 18 pages of actual rules, and then there's a bunch of optional stuff and your setups and stuff like that. But good guides for everything. I feel like that's something that I find a lot of games are missing nowadays is just the actual unit information because people think, oh, everybody knows what these symbols mean. No, they don't. If only the people who know the symbols are buying your game, it's not got a wide enough audience.
Oh yeah, Bruce said it's the title in German, in Russian.
Title in Russian, that would make sense.
Yeah, let's look at the title. Let's look at it.
This is the title. It's not mine.
Well, no. Okay. Okay, there's 3 words there in English, and there's only like 2 in. Right? Where does the 3 come from?
No.
I don't know. It's on my spreadsheet. I don't know Russian,
Yeah, I
unfortunately.
don't know Russian. Oh, and then Engine Thieves, you told me that you finally got Wes to give you the final, and he's not making any more changes.
I don't know about not making any more changes, but yes, we have all the feedback together for the artist, Friend and Thieves.
Oh, 3 equals Z in.
Russians don't use the. That makes sense.
No kidding. Wow.
Very efficient way of speaking.
See? Wow. People know what they'll tell you.
You guys are, yeah. There you go, guys.
That's not quite different. That's what's supposed to be.
I like John's explanation.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. So we're getting towards the end of the night. Make sure you get your town hall entry in. We got 172 so far.
What do you want, Bill? Bismarck?
Bismarck, yeah.
We're going to do Bismarck.
Nice. Well, now there's just a whole bunch of discussion on what it actually means. We have a bunch of people at Expo who say they have either 2 copies of the game, which I understand is the collector's and then the play version, and then there's the 3-copy people who it's like the backup for the collector's edition for the thing. I feel like you must have like a bunker somewhere to keep those
Yeah.
safe.
Or storage.
Storage, yeah.
No, John doesn't have 3 copies of everything. We need to make that a trend. I mean, yes, I think we're all on board with making that a trend. All right. And then now that I was looking at it because you had me wondering, I was like, oh, is it a Vietnam game coming up after that? No, it's in Suicon after that. So that's exciting on my pre-production list.
No, he's talking. Well, you talking about Contact Now, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were talking about the next game in the Contact Now series, and I was like, what do you mean my next game is a Vietnam game?
I'm lost about the next one up being what she said.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
No, you have to mean tomorrow.
We'll go over it tomorrow.
That we will.
Because everything changes in our meetings.
Yes.
I've been doing good. I don't say much, and I let them do it, and I don't really give my feedback, do I, Bill?
Well, we don't have Julian tomorrow, so we're going to have more time to figure
Oh, yeah.
moving stuff around just so we can come back and be surprised.
And I won't be there Tuesday.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
No, they didn't either.
Well, Bill didn't either.
No, they didn't either.
Okay.
All right.
Anything else, Miss Brittany?
I don't believe so. I think we got through all of my random talk. Actually, I have one more thing. I don't know if Chris
Oh, yeah.
this, but I will share it just for funsies.
for funsies.
I got this in my email the other day.
Oh, Jesus.
Just a little random drop at the end of the night because Chris needed the product number and the barcode for the box for this. So this is going to get wrapped up and heading into our pre-production queue in April before Chris starts working on the Burning Banners expansion. And I know a lot of you have been looking forward to the next game in Brothers at War. So I thought some of you might be excited to see the cover.
Now we're throwing an 1862 game in there, right?
As far as I know, it's just 1861.
No, we had an 1862 we're putting in there.
I will talk to Christopher.
What's the back of the box say?
I don't have the back of the box. I just have the front of the box. It's Bull Run, Wilson's Creek, Carnifex Ferry, and Belmont.
No, but we were putting in a for a special one, an 1862 game.
Got it.
But I like that. That's a
Yes.
nice.
It is very pretty.
Game. Yeah, game. I like that. That is nice.
That's news for me. That's it.
No.
All right.
Yeah.
Then I guess we can get over to the town hall drawing.
Okay.
I've managed to not close the tab.
I think this is a current one.
Wait, no.
62.
We don't have enough battles in 62. So we have an extra battle. So.
All right. Good luck, everyone. 179 entries.
Okay, let's see what we got.
Good mark.
Uh-oh.
Rick Herrick. Over on
Kansas.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's from Kansas, I think.
I don't know which one is Australia.
No.
Bill, very excited about that, being in the U.S.
Yeah, I think he's from Kansas, but I could be wrong.
Congrats, Rick. So make
Yeah,
sure
very
to send
good.
an email to sales@compassgames.com. Just let us know your username and your address so we can get that shipped out to you. And I think that's about it for the evening.
Okay. Well, we'll see you in a couple weeks, and that's about it from us.
All right. Good night, everyone. Thanks,
Good
all.
night. Have a good one.